Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauranga Govinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Gauranga Balite Habe Kulaka Sharira Hari Hari Bolite Yani Bhavira Arta Vikai Sate Karuna Haride Samsara Vasanamo Kavitu Chapave Arta Vikai Vishaya Sarya Kavi Sudhave Ma Kavi Ham Kerava Shivrindava Raghunatha Pade Oide Asuti Kabe Hama Buddha Bose Jugala Kiriti Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahumaraya Prarthana Karaye Sada Sarusamudha Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Pretty strange. They're ringing the Prasadam bell. It's like supposed to be an hour, at least 45 minutes later. Maybe they have a group of people that they're feeding or something. Could be. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Pada Kamala Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shra Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadbhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitam Shcha. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhu bhyevacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahabhadanyaya krishna prema pradayate krishnaya krishna chaitanya namne gaura trishe namaha. Nityanandam namastubhyam Prem Ananda Pradayani Kalau Kalmashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaha Bande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Sahodito Gaudodai Pushpavanto Chitro Shabdo Tomo Nudo Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta, Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata, Sri Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Ashtatarasata Sri Srila, and Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Ashtatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Then I offer my unlimited Dandavat Pranams at the lotus feet of my Sri Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga and my Siksha Guru Varga. And I offer my Dandavat Pranams, especially on this disappearance day of Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami Pad. I offer my obeisances unlimitedly at his divine lotus feet and at the lotus feet of his most beloved Sri Sri Radha Raman Ji. My Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and to all the Vaishnavis. So today we will honor Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami, whose disappearance day it is today. And we will read the account from the great book, The Associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, written by Srila Bhakti Vallabha Goswami Maharaj. So to begin, he's quoting the shloka which identifies Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And what is his identity in Krishna Lila? So this shloka is from the Gaur Ganodesha Deepika of Sri Kavi Karnapur. And here's the verse. Ananga Manjari Yasit Sadhya Gopala Bhattaka Bhatta Goswaminam Kechit Ahu Sri Guna Manjari. So she, who was formerly Ananga Manjari, has appeared to enrich Mahaprabhu's pastimes as Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami. Some say that Gopal Bhatta is actually Guna Manjari. So this is the quotation. And Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami He appeared in 1500 AD as the son of Venkatabhatta in the town of Sri Rangam in South India. So, let's figure it out. Suppose he's born in 1500 AD. Mahaprabhu is born in 1486. So, 1486 up to 1500 is 14 years. And then, if he was born in 1503, which some persons say, then that would be 18 years after. Wait a minute. Okay, so Mahaprabhu, when he took sannyas, what year was that? But what year was it? 1486 plus 24. Yeah. Huh? 1510, when he took sannyas. Right. Okay. So then he would have been there in... Right, I know. But I'm just saying, he would have been there probably toward the end of that 2-year traveling in Sri Rangam, so that means it would have been 1512, let's say. 1512, that he would have been visiting in Sri Rangam. Okay, so that means that if Gopal Bhatta Goswami was born in 1503, like some persons say, he would have been 9 years old. But if he's born in 1500, then he would be 12 years old. So, does that add up? That could be it. It could be, right? But what did we... That he was 5 years old. Oh. Okay. All right. So let's see what we have to learn here. Oh. Okay. Anyway, he was born as the son of Venkatabhatta in the town of Sri Rangam in South India. Their residence was in a village not far from Sri Ranga, which was called Belagundi. So according to Narahari in the Bhakti Ratnakara, Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami was given a vision in a dream by Mahaprabhu in which he was fortunate enough to witness all the Lord's Navadvip pastimes. An eternal associate of Krishna, he appeared in a faraway place in order to participate in Lord Gauranga's pastimes. So even so, he was able to know long before he even saw him that the Lord had appeared and had taken sannyas. Gopal Bhatta did not particularly like the Lord's appearance as a sannyasi. He was distressed and crying alone when the Lord appeared to him and gave him the dream vision of his Navadvip Leela. So in this vision, the Lord was overwhelmed by ecstatic love, and he embraced him and he drenched him in his tears. So, having said this to Gopal, the Lord embraced him and, this is the quote from Bhakti Ratnakara. Having said this to Gopal, the Lord embraced him and drenched him in his tears. He then told him to keep all these experiences secret, and Gopal felt great joy in his mind. So, now the Lord's teachings to Gopal's father. In 1510, Mahaprabhu made his auspicious appearance in the pilgrimage city of Sri Rangam. he was invited by Venkatabhatta to spend the 4 months of the Chaturmasya in his house. So knowing him to be a strict Vaishnava, Mahaprabhu accepted his invitation. And in fact, the Lord's pastime of coming to Sri Rangam and staying at Venkatabhatta's home was to give his mercy to Gopal Bhatta and his family. For the Lord knew that Gopal, his eternal companion, had appeared there. So at this time, Gopal Bhatta was still a young boy. He was fortunate enough to be able to serve the Lord by massaging his feet. Even though he was satisfied with Venkatabhatta and his family's service, the Lord observed that Venkata had an element of pride in his object of worship. He believed that his worshipable deity, Lakshmi Narayan, was the supreme worshipable object, and that Narayan was the source of all other incarnations, including Krishna, Ram, and Nrsimha. His reasoning was that Narayan is never born, he is Aja, while Krishna and Ram take birth in the world. He thus thought the following: Oh, Mahaprabhu worships Krishna, the incarnation of Narayan, while we worship Narayan, the source of all incarnations. So what was the correct thing to understand in this? Let's pause for a moment. So, here, Srila Bhakti Balabhatirtha Maharaj is explaining what is explained in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. How when Mahaprabhu visited Sri Rangam and he visited to the house of Venkatabhatta, we've already mentioned this in previous classes, actually twice. We've already mentioned it, but now we're going to hear the actual dialogue that took place between Mahaprabhu and Venkatabhatta. But here, what is being noticed by Mahaprabhu is that Venkatabhatta has very great pride in his worshipable object, which is who? Who is the worshipable object of Venkatabhatta? Lakshmi Narayan. And what was his conception of Lakshmi Narayan, and what was his conception of Krishna? Well, explain. What is an avatar and what is avatari?
He is supreme God. All expanded, avatar expanded.
Yes, that means avatari means the source of all avatars. And what is an avatar? What is the meaning? What is the meaning of avatar? Who descends down. Yes, who descends down from the spiritual world. So what was his conception? What did he believe?
He thought that Rama and Krishna were born, but they are both the same. Narayana was never born.
So he was saying that Lord Narayan is superior
This was his conclusion.
to Krishna and Ram and so forth. And he was saying that the form of Krishna is subordinate to the form of Lord Narayan. Why? Because Lord Narayan is the source of Krishna, the source of Ram, the source of Nrsimha. So this was his conception. This is what he understood. So, and he thought, oh, Mahaprabhu, he worships Krishna, who is the incarnation of Narayan, while we worship Narayan, who is the source of all incarnations. So this is what he was thinking. So, but what is the actual truth? What is the actual truth? What is the actual fact? Was he thinking correctly or not? Huh? What he was thinking was what? Incorrect, not correct. It was a misconception that he had. So Mahaprabhu noticed this misunderstanding that Venkatabhata had. Therefore, now Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is explaining that the Lord, who is known as Madhusudan, he is the destroyer of all false pride. False pride. There is real pride and there is false pride. That also means lojnaya ego. That means false ego, false pride. And Krishna, who is known as Madhusudan, he is the destroyer of false pride. So therefore, Mahaprabhu finally decided one day that he would do the same for Venkata. What would he do? He would destroy his false pride. So then one day Mahaprabhu asked him in a bantering tone. What does it mean to banter? You know. Bantering means to throw some challenge. And then the other person meets the challenge and then he throws back another challenge. So, this is the tone of voice in which Mahaprabhu spoke to Venkatabhata. Why? Because he was intimate now with the family. He had lived there for, almost 4 months. And therefore, he could talk in a kind of a joking manner with him. So he said, Mahaprabhu said to Venkata, "Oh Venkata, I hear that no one is equal in opulence to your Lord Narayan. And the same is true for your worshipable goddess Lakshmi Devi. That what? No one is equal in opulence. So, but on the other hand, the object of my worship, Krishna, he has no opulences of any kind. He wears garlands of wild forest flowers. He uses peacock feathers for decoration. He is the son of Nanda Gopa. He spends his day grazing the cows while the other cowherd boys, with the other cowherd boys. So, my worshipable goddesses, Mahaprabhu is saying, my worshipable goddesses, the gopis, they are also nothing but poor cowherd girls. I wonder therefore why your worshipable Lakshmi Devi came to Vrindavan to perform austerities in the hope of gaining Krishna's company in the rasa dance. So what was Mahaprabhu's question to him? What was the question that Mahaprabhu was asking to Venkatabhata?
Why Lakshmi comes to down and do austerities? Why she did it? Why she did it?
No. Why did she do it in order to gain the company in Krishna's Ras Leela dance? That's already understood. But why did she do that? Because she's a goddess of fortune. And in Vrindavan, Krishna is just surrounded by cowherd people, and cows and cowherd boys and trees and peacocks and like this. So why would the supremely opulent Lakshmi Devi, the source of all wealth, the goddess of fortune, why would she go to Vrindavan to perform austerities, tapasyas. Huh? And what was her objective? To gain the company of Krishna in where? To associate with Krishna where? In the rasa dance. So Mahaprabhu, you have to understand, this is a very serious discussion. Mahaprabhu is living in their house. They are worshippers of Lakshmi Narayan. They are coming in the Sri Sampradaya, but Mahaprabhu notices that he, Venkatabhata, has a misconception about Krishna in relation to Lord Narayan. So now he's posing a question. Why? Why did Lakshmi go to Vrindavan and perform so many tapasyas, austerities, in order to gain entrance into Krishna's rasa dance? Why? Now, Venkatabhata, immediately he answered Mahaprabhu. This is what he said. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Radha's beloved Krishna is not different from Lakshmi Devi's husband, Lord Narayan. Right? Huh? Non-different. Right? Lord Narayan is Krishna, Krishna is Lord Narayan. The beloved Krishna, who is beloved of Srimati Radhika, actually he's non-different than Lakshmi Devi's husband Narayan. So in order to substantiate what he just told, so he quotes the verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which says, Siddhantas tu avedepi Shrisha Krishna Swarupayo Rase not Krishyate Krishna Krishna Rupam Esha Rasastiti. So this is very, very important verse. Very important verse that he quoted. This is what he told in defense of Goddess of Fortune going to Vrindavan to perform austerities. So, here's the meaning of this verse, Siddhantas tu abedepi. Actually, this means that according to Siddhanta, here he says theological doctrine, Siddhanta. It means philosophical conclusion. So according to that perspective, Krishna and the husband of Lakshmi, they are identical in essence. Do we accept that fact? Do we accept that fact? That Krishna and Lord Narayan are identical in their essence? Yes? Okay. We accept that. So, but then the second line, it says, although this is a fact, according to that philosophical perspective, the husband of Lakshmi and Krishna are identical in essence. However, although that is true, the form of Krishna is superior when it is analyzed from the point of view of what? Rasa. Rasa. From that perspective, rasa vichar. Rase not krishyate Krishna. Krishna rupam esha rasa stiti. This means that from that view of divine sentiment, Krishna is superior. Divine sentiment means rasa. This is the conclusion that is based on the analysis of rasa. Rase not krishyate Krishna, Krishna rupam esha. Krishna rupam esha rasa stiti. Okay. So, then Venkatabhata, after quoting this verse, then he said, because the divine sentiment in Krishna is superior, there is no fault if Lakshmi Devi chooses to seek his association and to perform austerities to that end. So he defended everything up to this point. Understand? Everything was defended by him. Mahaprabhu made a philosophical kind of like a challenge to him. And he said, what is the fault? Huh? Because Krishna is extension of Lord Narayan. What's the fault for her in wanting to associate with Krishna even though he's superior by rasa? Okay? So, and therefore, in order to accomplish that, she performed austerities. Again, I'll ask you the same question I asked you the other day to see if you can remember. Where did Lakshmi Devi perform austerities in Braj? Where? You know also?
Because I should right now told.
I know, but I'm asking also you.
Before someone told, I don't remember.
Okay. Everyone say 3 times. Bailvan, Bailvan, Bailvan. Everyone. That's where Lakshmi Devi is still performing austerities even now in Braja. Across the Yamuna River, there's a village called Bailvan. That's where there's a temple of Lakshmi, and that's where Lakshmi Devi was performing austerities and still now. So now, he said that to Mahaprabhu, but what did Mahaprabhu answer? Mahaprabhu answered, I am not saying that there is any fault. So Venkata's defending his position of Lakshmi Devi, going and performing austerities, as if to defend her against some kind of fault. But Mahaprabhu is saying, no, I'm not saying that there is any fault in her. I agree that from the transcendental point of view, Krishna and Narayan are identical. But the difference between them, it is based on an analysis of rasa. Sacred rapture, he calls it here. Rasa. So when the Lord performs pastimes of opulence, then he is Narayan. He is performing pastimes of so much opulence, Aishwarya. And when he performs those types of pastimes, then he is Lord Narayan. Yes. So thus, when Lakshmi performs austerities to have the association of Krishna, there is no question of her breaking her vows of fidelity to her husband. Understand? She's not doing any extramarital affair. No, because Krishna, she sees Krishna as a manifestation of her husband, Lord Narayan, in that form. So, this is what Mahaprabhu is telling in response. So thus, when Lakshmi performs austerities to have the association of Krishna, there is no question of her breaking her vows of fidelity to her husband, vows of chastity to her husband. There's no question, she's not breaking her vows of chastity. So thus, she went to perform these austerities in Vrindavan. But, Mahaprabhu said, I have another question for you. Why, even after trying so hard through such austerities and so forth, she's trying so hard to enter Krishna's Ras Leela, why was Lakshmi still unable to do so, to enter Krishna's rasa dance. That's his question, Venkatapata. Understand? Yeah? Understand? So, Mahaprabhu is not finding fault with Lakshmi. But Mahaprabhu is concerned that Venkatapata will be able to give the correct answer. Why did she fail? Why was she not able, even though she performed so many austerities, why was she not able to enter the Rasa Leela dance? Why? So guess what? When Mahaprabhu gave that question, Venkatapata was very distressed. He was full of distress because he was unable to give the Lord an answer. So Mahaprabhu, he observed, oh, Venkata is very full of distress. And then he tried to pacify him by saying, you yourself have said, that verse that you just quoted, that Narayan and Krishna are identical from the theological point of view, but that the superiority of Krishna is determined by an analysis of rasa. That's how Krishna is superior. Narayan is involved in 2.5 of the principle of the 5 principal rasas. Lord Narayan reciprocates only 2.5 of the 5 principal rasas. What are the 5 principal rasas? Wait. Do you know? It is nice. Okay, that's 2. That's 2. 3. Yasho 3. Actually, Dasya, okay. Only one more. Do you know? What is the other one? Okay, there are 5 rasas. There are 5 rasas. These are called principal rasas. Every living entity has one of these rasas with the Supreme Lord. Understand? It's very essential for us to know what those 5 rasas are. I'm going to say their names in Sanskrit, okay? And then you're going to tell me what those rasas are. All 5 of them. Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. What are they? The 5 rasas.
Shanta, Dasya, Madhurya.
No, you're skipping. These 5 rasas are in gradual superiority, beginning with the most basic and then going to the most superior of these 5 rasas. Beginning with Shanta. What does Shanta mean? What does Shanta mean?
I'm not remembering English name. С трепетом.
Means what?
С трепетом. Нет, именно такое.
Huh? she told me.
Любовь между животными. Я не знаю, как правильно сказать.
It is neutral ras.
Neutral. Yes, Shanta. What does Shanti mean? Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. What does that mean?
Peace.
Peace. So it's from the same word, Shanta ras. Shanta means that the devotee is situated in realization. He has realization of the Supreme Absolute Truth, but he's not directly involved in reciprocating service to the Supreme Truth. Only he has the realization and the appreciation of the supreme greatness of the Lord and all of that. He understands that. He has realized that. That's called Shanta Ras. That's one of the 2.5 rasas that Lord Narayan reciprocates with his eternal devotees. He reciprocates 2.5 rasas with his devotees. In where? In Vaikuntha. How many rasas does Krishna reciprocate with? Panch, Tiet, 5.
And 7.
We're not going in that direction yet. There's millions of combinations of rasa, but we're only talking about the 5 principal rasas. So now we've explained the first one, Shanta. It has the least amount of relishing and tasting of rasa. But the devotee who is in Shanta Ras, he feels very satisfied in his heart. But he has not yet understood that by serving the Lord, there is a much, much higher taste of Ras. So he exists in appreciation. He appreciates, you see. That is called Shanta. Now, in this material world, in case you didn't know, all these 5 rasas are also existing. But they are perverted. They are perverted rasas because they're a reflection of the original rasa in the spiritual world. Understand? So, in the material world, what living entities in various forms and bodies and species and all that, which living entities are situated in this Shanta Ras in the material world? That means in relation to us humans. In relation to us humans, which other living entities are situated in Shanta Ras? In relation to the humans.
Maybe animals.
Not maybe. Why are you saying maybe?
I did my.
Okay. Can you get married to a dog?
Some people have for that now. In the 21st century. In Europe.
Yes, but we know that a dog cannot become your wife as a human being or your husband, okay? A dog cannot. Can the dog become your parent? Okay, listen, wait. Listen. Animals you can have different reciprocation with animals. Can the animal become your servant? In one sense it can. Go fetch, go bring me for a dog, like that. But actually the animal does not know the mood of being the servant. That's only coming about automatically by his what's it called? What's the word? Not intuition, is like all different species have automatic sentiments. So, but you know, in the West, they say, dog is man's best friend. And many people keep a dog to become their friend. But in actuality, the dog, or the fish, or the birds, or any of the animals, they cannot reciprocate in that rasa with you. They cannot reciprocate in the four rasas because they don't have the developed consciousness that a human being has. You see? So the human being can imagine that they're reciprocating, but in actuality they cannot. The only way that they can reciprocate is they exist. They accept your existence. So that's Shantaras. Shantaras. The tree, the plants, they're all in Shantaras. You understand? The insects, the scorpions and snakes, reptiles, they're all in Shantaras in relation to the human beings. Every species other than human is in Shantaras. Yes, we can utilize their service. For example, the bull, the oxen, they can pull a chariot, they can do service to human beings. But that's just their natural instinct. That was the word I was trying to remember. It was instinct, yeah. Yes. See, the cow also is called mother. Right? The cow is our mother. But the cow, although the cow is performing that function, and the cow is kind of willingly giving the milk, but the cow is not thinking like that. Oh, this is my child human being. But in Braj, the cows there, they actually have not only Shantaras, but they also have the mood of Vatsalya towards Krishna. You see? They have the mood of friendship with Krishna. All the other rasas in Braja are there in all the species of life. You understand? Not only that, even the clouds and the inanimate objects in Braj, they also have the mood of love for Krishna. You see? And the trees, when Krishna touches the trees feel the mood that the gopis feel when Krishna touches the gopis. The trees feel that. You see? In Braj. But in the material, because the material world is the perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So here, the animals and the other species, they cannot actually have that kind of conscious mood that human beings can have towards one another. So, this is important to understand, because otherwise you will not understand the meaning of this discussion, that Krishna is far, far superior by rasa than Lord Narayan. Because as Mahaprabhu just told, that Lord Narayan only reciprocates 2.5 rasas with his devotees. What are they? Shanta, Dasya, and a half of Sakya mixed with Dasya. That's all.
And Aishwarya is only Aishwarya.
What about Aishwarya?
Aishwarya means mood. Aishwarya is Sakya. When Sakya begins going down, it is absolutely different.
But we're only talking about the rasa itself. The rasa itself, it does not exist with Lord Narayan.
For example,
But there's a mixture of a rasa between Dasya ras and Sakya ras. There's a mixture. So that's the half rasa. The first rasa is Shanta, the second rasa is dasya, and the half rasa is a combination of dasya and sakya. But it's not full. It cannot be full sakya. How you can become the intimate friend of Lord Narayan? No, Lord Narayan does not reciprocate in that way. He reciprocates with his devotees who serve him as servants, like Jai Vijay. They're servants of Lord Narayan. Now, are they relishing and tasting ras? Absolutely. They're tasting Vaikuntha Prem Ras with Lord Narayan, to being his servant. And also the neutrality. But it cannot go higher than that with Lord Narayan. It cannot go higher than that. So now, Mahaprabhu is continuing, and he's saying that Narayan is involved in 2.5 of the 5 principal rasas, whereas Krishna is experienced through the complete manifestation of not only all 5 rasas, but even the 7 secondary rasas, which makes 12. 12 rasas, Krishna reciprocates in all of them. So since, Mahaprabhu continues, since Narayan's Leela is primarily a Leela of Aishwarya, opulence, because of that, and also majesty, showing his grandeur, he's the supreme emperor, the supreme ruler, the supreme king. So that opulence is exhibited in Lord Narayan's Leela. And amongst all of his devotees, in that Leela of Lord Narayan and exhibiting opulence, who is the principal devotee in all of his Leelas? Lord Narayan. Who is the principal devotee there in Vaikuntha with Lord Narayan? Lakshmi. Lakshmi is his principal devotee. And she also worships him in the appropriate mood of awe and reverence. Aishwarya. Now this is Mahaprabhu who's explaining to Venkatavata. He's saying that the same Lakshmi Devi, that same personality, Lakshmi Devi, is Radhika, in order to heighten the experience of romantic love. So that same Lakshmi appears as Radhika. And then he says, unless one follows in the footsteps of Radha and of Radha's expansions, namely who? Radha's expansions are the gopis. So unless one follows in the footsteps of Radha and her expansions, the gopis, who are the what? They are the repositories of the erotic sentiment, this loving Madhurya Ras, conjugal love sentiment. The gopis are the complete possessors of that. It reposes, those sentiments repose in their hearts. So, then, so he's saying unless one follows in the footsteps of Radha and her expansions, the gopis, then it is impossible. It is impossible to relish Krishna's sweet qualities, such as those virtues in Krishna, which are particularly inspiring for the romantic mood of love in Madhurya Rasa. Unless one follows in the footsteps of the gopis, it's impossible to relish all of Krishna's sweet qualities, which he exhibits in those moods of exchanging Madhurya sentiments with the gopis. So the reason for Lakshmi Devi's failure, now Mahaprabhu comes straight to the point. Because Mahaprabhu challenged Venkatavata that, what was his challenge? What was the challenging question that Mahaprabhu told to Venkatabhatta about Lakshmi Devi's attempt to enter Krishna's rasa dance?
Why did you fail and enter the rasa?
Yes, she didn't succeed in her attempt. She was not successful in her attempt. And when he asked this to Venkata, Venkata could not answer. So now Mahaprabhu has explained all these points to him, and now he comes straight to the conclusion. He says the reason for Lakshmi Devi's failure is that she did not follow in the gopis' footsteps, but she continued to perform her austerities in the mood of awe and reverence. So as a result, she repeatedly found herself in the company of Lord Narayan and never in the company of Krishna. She did not end up in Krishna's association, only in the association of Narayan. But now, Mahaprabhu gives another example, because there were some personalities who also made an attempt to enter into Krishna's rasa dance. Who were they? They were called the Shrutis. That means the Upanishads and the Vedic literatures who were personified. They were as personalities. And what did they do? They did not do what Lakshmi did. In contrast to that, what Lakshmi did, they followed the gopis in the what? Rag Marg. They followed the gopis in their worship of Krishna in the Rag Marg. And so, they were ultimately able to achieve Krishna's service in the Madhurya Rasa mood. They succeeded. So then Mahaprabhu says that as long as one continues to think of Krishna in majestic terms, that means the Lord of the Creator of the universe. If someone is continuing to think of Krishna in that way, then that person cannot possibly worship in the spirit of Rag Anuga Bhakti. So then, Mahaprabhu continues and he says that Krishna, actually this is a direct quotation from Chaitanya Charitamrita in that chapter, Madhya Lila 9, 127 through 31. So, now Mahaprabhu is quoting, and he's telling this is the quote of Mahaprabhu, what he's telling to Venkatabhatta. That Krishna has one extraordinary characteristic. Pay close attention. That Krishna has one extraordinary characteristic. What is that one extraordinary characteristic? Here it is. By his sweetness, sweet, sladdest, by his sweetness, he attracts the minds of the entire world. That one characteristic of Krishna is so supreme. No one else can do this. Only Krishna can attract the minds of the entire world. So, by taking on the mood of the Braja Gopis, if someone takes their mood, then one can attain to that Krishna's lotus feet. To that Krishna. And in this way, the Brajavasis, who live as Krishna's eternal associates, they have no idea that Krishna is the Lord, that Krishna is the creator of the universe. They don't have any idea that Krishna is that. Understand? You cannot be a Brijabasi if you think Krishna is the supreme creator, that he's God. Impossible. So, some of those Brijbasis, what do they think of Krishna? Oh, they think of Krishna that he is their son. He's my son. Who's that? Mother Yashoda? And they even tie him to a grinding mortar, you know, in the Damodar Leela. They tie Krishna up. And then others, they look upon Krishna, they consider Krishna, he's my friend. And they climb on Krishna's shoulders with their feet. Friends can do that. Can anyone climb on the shoulders of Lord Narayan? Please tell me. Huh? Can anyone do that with Lord Narayan? Never. Never. Impossible. But with Krishna, he has his friends, his intimate friends. They climb on his shoulders. He has his mother. She becomes upset with Krishna stealing, and then she ties him up to a grinding mortar. So all the people of Braja, all of them, they only know Krishna as the son of Nanda Maharaj. That's all. And the attitude of awe and reverence, as opposed to this mood of Vraja, when a devotee has that mood of awe and reverence, then the devotee does not have any conception of having such a relationship to Krishna. It's not possible. So one who takes the attitude of a resident of Braja, if someone takes that attitude of a resident of Braja, then what will happen? Then he will attain Krishna. If a person worships Krishna as the residents of Braja worship Krishna, what will happen? Then he will attain Krishna as the son of the king of Vraja in Vrindavan. This is the statement of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So what was just told by Mahaprabhu? What?
I not listen that context.
What?
I not listen this 10 seconds.
Well, what were you doing?
I opened the phone.
Doing what? Doing what? On your phone. Didn't you see me the other day? I gave very heavy chastisement. And I forbid. No one should bring their phone and do stuff on their phone during the lecture. Did I not say that the other day? You were here.
Say it.
What?
Yes.
Yes, I said it. So then why are you doing it? I'm sitting here trying with very much of my energy to implant in all of you, through your ears, these conceptions in these books. And if I ask you, did you hear what I just said? And you say, no, I didn't hear it because I was doing something on my phone. Am I going to accept that? Tell me, am I going to accept that?
I'm not going to.
Me. Am I going to accept that someone, while I'm trying with all of my energy to make you all understand these points that Mahaprabhu is telling, and then you go on your phone and you're not listening? It's impossible for you to listen. No one can listen to both things at once. Your mind must be there and not in what I am speaking. Don't do it again, because next time I'm not even going to give a warning. That phone is not for you to use during the lecture, for your personal communications outside of this room, okay? I don't accept that, and I never will accept it, and if you do it again, you'll not be allowed in my class. Can't you see? Can't you see the effort that I'm trying to make? Day after day after day after day, week after week, month after month. Why? So that you can learn what I understand, what is understood by all of our acharyas, so that you can learn it. How are you going to learn it? If you're doing other communications while I'm trying to implant these conceptions in your heart. Huh? This is actually an insult to Guru. This is an insult. These phones did not exist during the time of our previous acharyas. But there was no question of the students sitting in front of their guru and carrying on a conversation with someone. Huh? Do you think that they would do that in front of Srila Prabhupada, physically sitting with Prabhupada? And then carrying on, having a conversation with someone while Prabhupada is lecturing? Never. Never. But now we think it's okay to have because we have this secret little device that we can hide in our lap, and then he won't be able to see it. It's very easy to see if someone is listening to you or not listening. That's all I'm going to say. Very big disturbance to the Harikatha. Very big disturbance. We're still in the middle of the lecture. Yeah. So, one who takes the attitude of a resident of Braja, then he will attain Krishna. Which Krishna? The son of the king of Braja. The son of Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Nandan Krishna. He will attain Krishna in Vrindavan. So that's the quote that Mahaprabhu told to Venkatabhata. And Mahaprabhu, he went on. He said that when the gopis, who are the objects of my worship, when they were abandoned by Krishna in the rasa dance, they began to cry. Distress at not seeing him. This is actually a quote, but it's not telling from where. When the gopis, the objects of my worship, when they were abandoned by Krishna in the rasa dance, they began to cry in the intensity of their distress at not seeing Krishna. So then Krishna came to them in the form of Narayan. You know about that? Gopis were looking, searching in the forest. Oh, Krishna, where's Krishna? Where's Krishna? Where's Krishna? They were even asking the trees and the animals and so forth. But then Krishna appeared there and added 2 extra arms. So he sat there as if he's Lord Narayan with 4 arms. So what happened? When the gopis saw him, they simply paid their obeisances and they moved on in search of Krishna. And what did this show? It showed that they had absolutely no interest in Narayan as a lover. Now, when Radharani stood before the disguised Krishna, who is disguised, when she stood in front of him with his four arms, however, what happened to Krishna? He could not maintain the four-armed form. But once again he appeared in his form as the holder of the flute. Such is the power of Radharani's love. Krishna cannot keep four arms in front of Radha. Never. So, this personality, Nanda Nandam Krishna, Mahaprabhu is telling. He's telling to Venkatabhata that this Nanda Nandan Krishna, this son of Maharaj Nanda, he is the avatari. He is the source of all incarnations. Narayan, Ram, Nrsinga, etc. are all his incarnations, and they are his expansions. Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. That means he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Swayam Bhagavan. Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. And because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so from that position, the other forms of Godhead are also given the term as Bhagavan. They are also called Bhagavan. The other forms and incarnations and expansions of Krishna, they're called Bhagavan. Why? Because Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. None of them can be called Swayam Bhagavan. Only Krishna. But they can be called Bhagavan because they possess six opulences in full. They are actually expansions of Krishna himself. However, he, Krishna, only he, Krishna alone, however, can be called the Swayam Bhagavan, or the primeval Lord. So, in that conversation, there is also the verse quoted, which is the ultimate verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that states this truth. Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. Here's the verse from the first canto, 3rd chapter, verse number 28. Ete chamsa kala pungsa Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. That line. Ete chamsa kala pungsa Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. That means that in this chapter, this is the end of that chapter, and in this 3rd chapter, the 1st canto, Sutta Goswami has been mentioning and naming the various different incarnations of the Supreme Lord who appear within this world. And then he states this verse by saying, Ete, that means all these that I've just spoken about, Chamsa Kala Pungsa. That means they are angsas and kalas. Angsa means a part, and kala means a part of a part. Okay? So he directly tells here, all of these incarnations and expansions that have just been mentioned are either angshas or kalas. However, Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. Only Krishna is Bhagavan Swayam, Swayam Bhagavan. And that Krishna, he and his expansions, they appear yuga after yuga, in every age, to do what? Indrari vyakulam lokam mridayanti yuge yuge. That they bring joy to this world. When all the jivas and the demigods even, they're being tormented by the Indrari. Indraari means the enemies of Indra and the demigods. So this is one of the most important verses. So you repeat after me. I'm going to teach you the first line only. Ete, everyone repeat. Ete Ete. Changsa. Changsa. Kala. Kala. Ete Changsa Kala. Ete Changsa Kala. Pungsa. Pungsa. Ete Changsa Kala Pungsa. Ete Changsa Kala Pungsa. Krishnastu. Krishnastu. Bhagavan Swayam. Bhagavan Swayam. Krishnastu. Bhagavan Swayam. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. You say it without reading it. Very good. Now I'm happy again. Okay. So, that's the conversation between, Venkatabhata with Mahaprabhu. And through the power of Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's merciful association, then Venkatabhata, his brother Prabodhananda Saraswati, and his son Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and all the other members of his family, they were inspired to give up the worship of Lakshmi Narayan, and they became engaged in the exclusive devotional service of Radha and Krishna. They gave up their worship of Lakshmi Narayan, and they became absorbed in the worship of Radha and Krishna. Exclusive devotional service. So Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he took initiation from his uncle, who was the uncle of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. We just spoke about him the other day. Tridandi Yati, he was a sannyasi. Srimad Prabodhananda Saraswati. So the proof of this is found in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. The proof of the fact that he took initiation from his uncle. There it is said in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Bhakter Vilasams Chinute Prabodha Nandasya Shishyo Bhagavat Priyasya Gopala Bhatto Raghunatha Dasam Santoshayam Rupa Sanatanocha. This means Gopal Bhatta, the disciple of Prabodhananda, who is dear to the Lord, he has collected these devotional activities to satisfy Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa, and Sanatan Goswamis. So Gopal's parents, because this whole reading is about Gopal Bhatta Goswami, because it's his disappearance today, so we're reading this account. And he says that Gopal's parents, they were very fortunate. Gopal's parents were very fortunate because they surrendered themselves, life and soul, to the feet of Lord Chaitanya. This is the Bhakti Ratnakara being quoted. So how much more fortunate can you get than having Chaitanya Mahaprabhu staying and living in your house every day and interacting with him? So as a result of his staying there, they completely surrendered themselves, life and soul, to the feet of Lord Chaitanya. If Lord Chaitanya stayed in your house, would you surrender at his lotus feet fully? Yeah? Why? Yes. Okay. Now the section about Gopal Bhatta coming to Vrindavan. Let me just check here. Okay, there's not much more. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami comes to Vrindavan. When Gopal arrived in Vrindavan, Rupa and Sanatan wrote to tell Mahaprabhu that he had arrived. Then the Lord, he was overjoyed. He immediately wrote back telling them to take care of him very affectionately, as though he were their own younger brother. So Srila Sanatana Goswami, who compiled Hari Bhakti Vilas and published it in Gopal Bhatta Goswami's name, because Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he assisted Sanatana Goswami, so in the compilation of Hari Bhakti Vilas. And Rupa Goswami, he considered Gopal to be as dear to him as his own life. And he engaged him in the deity worship of Radha Raman. Radha Raman. Did you see Radha Raman when you were in Vrindavan just now? TV Dala. Skolkaraz. Каждый день. Okay. Very, very good. So, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he's the one who manifested, actually Krishna manifested himself, but he manifested himself for Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Now, Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he became one of the 6 Goswamis. There's only 6. We know there's a 7th one, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but in the time of Mahaprabhu, they are his direct disciples. 6 Goswamis. So, he became one of these 6 Goswamis, but he always kept an attitude of meekness and humility. Yes. So when Krishnadas Kaviraj approached him for permission, to give permission to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he granted it. But he gave one condition, that he not write about him. So, yes, so Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami could not go against the order of Gopal Bhatta, and thus he did nothing more than mention his name. He only mentioned his name. Sri Jiva Goswami, he writes in his introduction to the Satsandarbha that he wrote it on the basis of an earlier text by Gopal Bhatta. And Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami also wrote a book called Sat Kriya Sar Deepika. This is the book that is used by the whole Gaudiya Math for all of their different samskaras and initiations and installations, everything. Sat Kriya Sar Deepika. This means, the translation of this is the light on the essential sacraments for the Vaishnavas. Sat Kriya Sar, the essential sacraments. Sat Kriya Sar, that the Vaishnavas should perform Deepika, showing a light on that. So thus, his contribution to Gaudiya Vaishnava literature, it was in editing the Hari Bhakti Vilas, in preparing the notes for Jiva's Sat Sandarbha, and in compiling Sat Kriya Sar Deepika. And he also gave great joy to the community of devotees by writing a commentary on Bilva Mangal Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita. Now, amongst his disciples, who were disciples of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, amongst his disciples were Srinivas Acharya and Sri Gopinath Pujari. Now, the following story is also told about Gopinath Pujari's becoming Gopal Bhatta's disciple. So how did that happen? One day, Gopal Bhatta went to visit the town of Saharanapur, which is not far from Haridwar. Now, on that occasion, a simple devoted Brahmin engaged in his service in a most unpretentious manner. That Brahmin had no children, but he desired to have a son. So Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami knew the desire of the Brahmin, and he blessed him that he would have a very devotionally minded male child. And then the Brahmin promised Gopal Bhatta that he would give him his first son to be his servant and his disciple. This son was Gopinath Pujari. And it is said that Mahaprabhu had such affection for Gopal Bhatta that he sent him his own belt and kopin, Dora kopin, that Mahaprabhu himself wore. He sent that because he had so much affection for Gopal Bhatta. He sent him his personal clothing like that. And he also sent him a wooden seat, which he had personally used. So these items are still worshipped in the Radharaman temple by the current Sevites. I've never seen that seat or the other paraphernalia, but they still have it there in their family. Probably very heavily guarded. And here is the last section of this section. It is about Sri Radharaman. So when Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami was visiting the pilgrimage centers of northern India, so there he found a Shalagram Shila on the banks of the Gandaki River. And he took the worshipable stone and he carried it with him wherever he went, treating it as who? Treating that stone as Brajendra Nandan Krishna himself. And one day he thought that he would like to worship the Lord in a deity form, so that he could expand his service. So on the very next day, he found that the Shalagram Shila had transformed itself into Radha Raman to fulfill the wish of his devotee. So this deity stands alone without any form of Radha standing by his side, but instead, as a symbol of Radharani, a silver crown is placed on his left side. And the story is also told in the following way. It is said that Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami used to daily worship 12 shalagrams. He developed a desire to serve the Lord in the form of a deity, thinking that in this way he would be able to worship him in a much better way. So the Lord within his heart, he knew his feelings, and therefore through a rich merchant, he had many beautiful items used in the worship of the deity, such as ornaments and clothes. He had them sent to him through a rich merchant. Yes. Who had them sent? The Lord in the heart. Then Gopal began to worry that all these beautiful objects would be wasted because there was no way that he could use them unless he had a deity in a human form. So that night he put the shalagrams to rest, and in the morning he saw that one of them had been transformed into the Radha Raman deity. So when Rupa and Sanatan heard that Krishna had so mercifully appeared to Gopal Bhatta, they immediately came with the other devotees for darshan. And when they saw him, they were ecstatic with love. So the annual festival commemorating Radha Raman's appearance when he is bathed publicly takes place on the full moon day of Vaishak. The Radharaman temple is considered one of the most important in Vrindavan. So, Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami, he ended his earthly pastimes on the Krishna Panchami of Asar of 1507 of the Shaka era, 1585 AD. And his Samadhi temple is behind the current Radharaman temple. So by reading Srinivasacharya's hymn to the six Goswamis, the Sad Goswami Astakam, we can understand their glories. Gaur Premanandi. Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami Pada Ki Jai, Shri Radharaman Jiu Ki Jai, Shri Radharaman Jiu Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. So that means that if he was born in 1503, then he would have left the world at the age of 82 years old. And if he was born in 1500, he would have been 85 years old. All right, so that concludes our class for today, our class in which we have become very much enlightened by the glories of Gopal Bhatta Goswami and the intimate relationship that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had with his whole family, and how Mahaprabhu converted them from the worship of Lakshmi Narayan to the worship of Radha and Krishna. So our next class, today is Friday. We had shifted our Thursday class. I looked, there was nothing on Bhakti Jivan Acharya Maharaj, whose disappearance day was yesterday, so. The day after tomorrow, on Sunday, we'll again have class, and on that day it is the disappearance day of Srila Lokanath Goswami. Who was Lokanath Goswami the guru of? Yes. And Narottam Das Thakur was his only disciple. Yes. Very exalted personality, Lokanath Goswami. So we'll have class on this Sunday, day after tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, there's nothing on the calendar, but the next day, on Wednesday, it is Srila Bhakti Kamala Govinda Maharaj, who we've been able to meet him while he was still present within this world. Bhakti Kamala Govinda Maharaj. And it is also Kamika Ekadasi. That's on Wednesday, on coming up Wednesday. Like 5 days, 6 days from today. So, but we will have class. We'll have class on the Tuesday as usual. And then we will have our class on Thursday again. We'll have class on Thursday. That happens to be the disappearance day of our sannyas Gurubai and our devotional cousin Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Maharaj. So they'll be having a temple. Many of his disciples will come on that day. So then the next class after that, on the Thursday, will be the Sunday class of the 4th of August. And that Sunday class is Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj's disappearance day. So my Siksha Guru, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, that will be his 37th disappearance day from the time that he disappeared. And of course, I will be going over there for their program. I won't be giving class here on that day because their class is around the same time, 10, 11, like that. So I'll speak over there, but there's a lot of speakers. So, but what we can do, that's on Sunday, and the following Tuesday after that, Tuesday the 6th, there's no anything on the calendar. So we could make that a complete class for the glorification of Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj and hearing many of his teachings. Because I won't be satisfied with only just going over there. So we can do that on the Tuesday the 13th of August. And then the next Thursday after that, there's also nothing happening. But the day after that, the 16th, the day after the 15th, is the beginning of Sri Sri Radha Govinda Julan Yatra. And it's also Pavitra Ropana Ekadasi on that day. Sajjan Maharaj will be gone by then because he plans to be there in Vrindavan. So he'll be gone until his usual time, and sometime around late December, early January, whatever. So that means like 4.5 months. So, but the 17th, big day. 17th is landing on a Saturday. So, that's Srila Rupa Goswami's disappearance day. Yes. And it's also the disappearance day of Sri Gauri Das Pandit and also Sri Govinda Das, two associates of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. But Rupa Goswami, on that day, our Gurudev would have a grand festival on that day. Every year he would personally go to the Samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami at Radha Damodar Temple with all the Vaishnavas. And in that courtyard area, he would speak some glorification of Srila Rupa Goswami. Sometimes he would even ask some of us to stand there and also speak something. And then Gurudev would go back to his temple, Sri Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math, or in later years, he would go back to Sri Gopinath Bhavan. And Gurudev would actually have a 3-day festival beginning, I'm not sure if it would begin on the day before or the first day of that's the first day of Julan Yatra, is that Ekadasi day. And then the day after is Rupa Goswami's. So I think it was, beginning with Rupa Goswami's disappearance day, and which was on Dvadashi, then Trayodasi, then Chaturdasi. So he would have a 3-day festival, and then it's full moon, and that's Baladev Purnima. So he would have this, like that, 3-day program. So, but at any rate, we will have class on that day, which is a Saturday. So we will have class on the Thursday and the Saturday, and we will not have it on Sunday, the 18th. Just for our information, it is the 60th anniversary appearance, 60th appearance day of Srila Bhakti Bodayan Maharaj. So I don't know where Bodayan Maharaj will be, whether he'll be here at his temple, Gopinath Bhavan, or Gopinath Gaudiya Math, or whether he will be in Vrindavan, or that's on Sunday, August 18th. Sunday, August 18th. And then the next day, Monday, is the end of Julan Yatra, and it's Baladev Purnima. So we will have a program on the Saturday for Srila Rupa Goswami's disappearance day, Saturday the 17th. And then the Sunday, we won't have a program. But here it's telling that Baladev Purnima is on the 19th. So I wasn't calculating exactly correctly. Baladev Purnima is on the 19th, August 19th, on a Monday. So we will skip the Sunday class and we'll observe the Monday class, Baladev Purnima. That will also be a fasting day until noontime. On Krishna Janmashtami, we fast until midnight, but on Baladev Purnima, we fast until noon and take only Ekadasi preparations. And the next day, the Paran for Baladev Purnima will be up until, from sunrise until 9:32 a.m. in the morning. And then the 7 days after that, for those 7 days there's nothing, but then on the 27th is Shri Krishna Janmashtami. And then the 28th, Srila Prabhupada, his appearance day, Nandotsava. So all these festivals are right around the corner. So now it is, let's see, it's the 26th of July, and our next class is on Sunday for Sri Lokanath Goswami's disappearance day, and then our next class after that is on the Tuesday, the 30th, and Thursday we will also have class, Thursday the 1st of August. And and then there's a Mahadvadashi on the 30th, August 30th, Pakshavardhani Mahadvadashi, where we'll be fasting on that day, 30th of August. So that is a Friday. This is the calendar that was given by Madhukar. Oh. Yeah, we'd have to ask him. But what is it showing? What is different?
It says here that July 31st is fasting for Kami Kalitai.
Is what? July 31st? What?
Kami Kalitai.
Oh, different calculation.
Maybe he sent a different one out.
All right, we should check. We'll have to ask him, definitely. All right, so that's what's coming up. Next class. Next class is on Sunday, Srila Lokanath Goswami's disappearance day, and then the following Tuesday also. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Vrindai Tulsidevai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Brade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Vansha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. All glory to the assembled devotees.